Let's move next to Consolidated Infrastructure Group. Remember, this one was listed in a shell effectively, and then the CIL business, which is the Gamsu family, came and used the listing in order to bring a new business to the market. That's Conco. So Conco is the company which builds high and medium voltage power systems. It was very significantly involved in the refit or REIT program. You know, the thing where they had all the new power stations, the wind generation and the solar projects and all that bringing into the Eskom grid. They've also got a business in Angola which does oil industry support work. 4 billion rands worth of market cap. Price to earnings ratio 9.96. It's not showing as having a positive dividend yield, probably using all of its cash internally.
Correct, yeah.
But these guys have done well. I mean, they have really done well in what appeared to be a tricky market.
Yes, and they've really capitalized on that heavy need for power in South Africa in terms of the Eskom huge spend on that and getting their system stable, which
also presumably lots of local authority spending where, you know, new ring mains had to be installed and repaired.
Yes, so really capitalized on that. And then they had some success in their African business where they've seemed to get some project work. And if you read into their results, they're quite bullish on that. Obviously,
which you would think would be battling given the oil industry difficulties. But, of course, Angola has to still keep pumping.
They say they've got a strong order book. I think the word on the street is that it's very difficult to get your money out of Angola because they've run out of forex.
So this is work that is done in Angola, not down in Cape Town where the rigs get floated down. This is in Luanda and environs.
And that's the problem. So you've got this lack of forex coming out of Angola. So it's hard to repatriate your profits. And I think the emerging market sort of shine coming off has really impacted the stock. Because if you look at the performance in the last 12 months, it really hasn't been good.
Let's have a look, because this one, as I said, came through to the market and really did really well and showed great rates of growth in 2012, 2013, 2014. But that's what you're alluding to there, is that sort of bumpy response since then.
So it really has come off the boil. It's not on a terribly demanding valuation. The other point to note about this is it is a very capital-intensive business. It relies quite heavily on debt funding. And they recently bought a business, Conlog, which does prepaid electricity metering and that. And they need to fund that, so they've announced a rights offer. So that part is maybe a little bit of a negative, is it's heavily reliant on external debt financing, and it's the ability to keep getting that's important, because as we spoke about General Electric up front, if you start struggling to refinance your debt, it will impact negatively on you.
I see from my notes the other thing that they announced as part of their recent results was that the rail infrastructure in the country, which is the responsibility of Transnet, is getting a lot of spend going into it as well, which they're seeing as an area to expand. But that makes sense, because of course we have an electrically powered rail system largely. And that needs further work. One can only imagine. Those contracts could be enormous for a company with only a 4 billion market cap. A couple of those things coming through is hugely significant.
Yes.
And for the record, I might as well state it here. My perception is that the nuclear program will never happen. It's not fundable at the current rate, which will force our national grid towards more of these independent power projects, which will be good for these guys. Although that's sort of like, you can't really book that revenue now. That's just a view.
No, that is a view, and I think it's a reasonable view. Power is certainly in demand in South Africa and will continue to be in demand for some time to come.
Do you back these guys? Do you think Raul and his team are going to take this business higher?
I do, yes. I think at this valuation, it's much more reasonable, and I think there is some upside. So on this one, I'm actually hot.
Yep, I'm going to go hot on this one too. I've heard good things. People who know this industry well and know these guys well say they are top fellows, top operators. Right.